Hello everyone, welcome to the class. Just give me one moment. I will quickly check if I'm online and let's begin. Alright guys, okay. So today's class we are going to be covering topics from motion in straight line. We have seen all of the concepts in motion in straight line. So here today's class we're going to focus on numericals. Alright. Now my name is Mohana. I'm a physics educator here at Unacademy, and I know that most of you waiting for your results at 5 p.m. So there's an important announcement I have for you guys. Now, first announcement is that we have a session at 6:30 p.m. on the Unacademy platform, right? The link to the session is given over here, right? You can join this session. It's about 15-20 minute session where we're going to discuss about how to actually what are the methods in which you can actually access your result, right? How to get your result, and also if you want to apply for re-evaluation, how to apply for re-evaluation, and what are the steps on how to go about it, and within which date you have to apply. Okay, so we are just gonna talk about your class 10 results announcements alone. Okay, so do join the class at 6:30 p.m. Link is given over here, right? The same link is also shared in my Telegram group. You can just click on that and click notify us as well. Okay. Now, the other announcement I have is for you learners who are going to get your result today, right? That is at 5 p.m. today for class 11. Class 10 results. As soon as you get your class 10 results, you can actually share most of your details in this form. As well as class 12 students who are expecting your results also, you can share your details here. So if you share your details, you can stand a chance to feature in the online facilitations for toppers that we have in our Unacademy platform. Okay, so do check out this as well. Alright, on that note, this is my Telegram channel link. You can go to my Telegram channel and click go and give notified for the upcoming all of these sessions as well. You can just go and enroll before the session goes live. You can actually you will be notified. The same details will be there in the Unacademy ICSE and ISE board also, and this is also a common this again is a common channel for both ICSE and ISE board. Alright, so on that note, let's begin. Just like how we have classes on the YouTube platform, we also have classes on the Unacademy platform. Those classes are also absolutely free, so we call them as special classes. You can learn from any of your favorite educators for free. You can engage with this educators via pool features, and you can get any of your doubts clear. Since those classes are also live classes, you can get any of your doubts, all of your doubts cleared also in special classes. Now the link for the upcoming special classes are given in my chat box. So given in the chat box as well as in the description box down below. So you can actually check out the same as well. Okay, and go to class 11, and whatever upcoming classes are there, you can actually enroll in all of them. Now on 18th July, so this is part of the series that we actually did on the YouTube channel. Okay, we are going to do the error analysis. Basically, we are going to do the numericals. From error analysis, we're going to do all numericals. So this is going to happen on 18th July, that is tomorrow at 7:45 p.m. This class will be on Unacademy platform, and it's again absolutely free. Okay, you just have to go notify, just enroll for the class. Before the class goes live, you will be notified. Now the next special class we have is on 22nd July. This is again from your third unit, laws of motion, and this is the part 5 in the series. It's okay, even if you're not seen the previous series, you can just come and join for this class as well. Okay, then on 27th July, we did motion in a plane. We did mini classes about vectors, right? So on 27th July at 7:45, again we have a special class where we will again do a quiz on motion in a plane. Okay, mostly we will deal with vectors again. Okay, these are the upcoming special classes. Now if you're interested in the Unacademy Plus subscription, these are the advantages. One is you can learn from the comfort of your home. Next one is whenever you're taking a Plus subscription, you are getting 4 subjects, that is physics, chemistry and math and biology. You're getting 4 subjects. So you'll get unlimited access to all courses. Next you will be learning from all the top educators. Now every 4th session is actually a doubt clearing session. Okay, so if you take any Plus subscriptions, every 4th sessions would be a doubt clearing session, and as well as in the Plus subscription, we will be covering your entire syllabus. Okay. Haruparika, right? I hope I'm pronouncing your name right. Good evening. Okay, and it's good to know that you've taken the subscription. So I hope I'll see you in the classes. And next is if you're doing your and other than this, you have many practice tests available. Other than the practice tests, there are also many live test series. Every other week there will be a live test series. In the live test series, after you attend the test, right after the test, there will be a analysis session with the educator where if you have any doubts, you can get them cleared then and there itself. Okay, then I will tell you the course details, our ongoing course details shortly. With that note, because right we are going to because your class 12 class 10 results are going to be announced at 5 p.m. so we have an announcement for you guys. We are again back with the 20% off offer, right? Between, this is for if you're taking ICSE subscription between class 6 to class 12. Especially if you're taking them, this particular offer goes live at 6 p.m. today, and especially if you're taking this offer between 17th today at 6:15 to 22nd. Okay, now to avail this offer, you can use my code MTIS10. Okay, and okay, you're in class 9. Okay, all right then. All right, so you can use my code MTIS19 to avail this 20% offer. Right. On this note, let's look at the pricing for the courses. See, with Unacademy, the longer duration you take the course, the price per month goes down. Actually, if you take a 3 months course, it's around 9,919 rupees. But if I take 1 year course, it's 19,838 rupees. Okay, and if you're taking 24 months course, it is only 33,036 rupees. Okay, this price is for 4 subjects, that is physics, chemistry, math and biology. All the 4 subjects, this is the amount you're paying for 2 years. Now, from today 6 o'clock, right? From today 6 o'clock to 22nd, if you're purchasing the code, you can actually use my code MTIS10 to avail an instant 20% discount. Okay, so make use of this. Okay. Yes, you can attend the session. If you want to, you can definitely attend the session because we are doing motion in a straight line. Some of these concepts you would have been doing in your class 9. Otherwise, you will be learning something new. That's it. Okay, and the upcoming classes, if you see the ongoing batches for class 11, you have is Brahmastra class. This is the plus subscription Brahmastra. This course is actually focusing on, this is for all subjects. You have physics, chemistry, maths and biology. The focus of this course is your midterm syllabus coverage. We started this course at July 6th. The course will be taught in English. I'll be basically taking class for physics between 5:15 to 6:15 p.m. every Tuesday, Thursday and Saturday. Okay, and Rahul sir will take for math, Manisha ma'am will take chemistry and Lakshay sir will take biology. Now, if you're a class 11 learner, you have an advantage. You can take subscription for class 11 and class 12 subscription is absolutely free for you guys. So you're just paying for 1 year and you're getting 2 years benefits. Okay, and especially with this course, with this 20% off, if you're taking up to before 22nd means on whatever price it is, you're getting a 20% off. So per class, the payment per class goes low as 30 rupees. It may go just less than 30 rupees. Okay, now if you take any subscription plans, right, any plus subscription, in a month you will get minimum of 10 subject for all of this courses, minimum of 10 subjects. Okay, at least a minimum of 10 subjects, and I'm really sorry, a minimum of 10 classes, right, for each of the subjects will be there. So in a month there will be 40 classes. Okay, in a month there will be 40 classes per month. This is the minimum class count, right? There will be more number of classes than this, but this is the minimum amount of classes you will have. Okay, so do check out this courses. Like similar to class 12, we also have similar to class 11, we also have class 12. This particular batch name is called as Achievers, and this is again an all subject batch. And for physics, we meet every Monday, Wednesday, Friday between 5:15 to 6:15 p.m. Again, to get this particular course, you can use my code MTIS10 and you can avail a 20% offer. And Marino, for your question, don't worry, we will be doing projectile motion in the upcoming class. I will cover your concept then. All right. And let's see today's class. Let's begin today's class. And first what we are going to see is motion in a straight line. See if you guys can answer the question, which of the following pairs are vector quantities? Right? You can give me your answer in the chat box. Which of the following pairs are vector quantities? Okay, so here we have distance and displacement, and you have speed and velocity, distance and speed, and displacement and velocity. Which of these pairs are vector quantities? Okay, so if you see, distance is a scalar quantity, so that's not the right answer. Okay, and speed and velocity, Marino, if you want the exact details, I have to check on that. Okay, weightage of mechanics in JEE Advanced, I'll definitely let you know in the next class. Okay, I'll check that and I'll give you the right information, because as of now I'm not teaching JEE Advanced, so I'll check that information and I'll let you know. And on the speed and velocity, if you take, speed is a scalar quantity, right? And distance and speed, again you take, distance and speed both are scalar quantities, but displacement and velocity both are vector quantities. They are vector quantities, meaning they have both direction and magnitude. Okay, so whenever you say an object is displaced, right, then you have to say how much it is displaced, right? So let's say an object is, let's say you're going from your home to school, right? If you're traveling 5 kilometers, then you have to say you have traveled 5 kilometers due east or due west, or you have to specify your directions. Okay, and if you're going in a car and if you say velocity is around 45 meters per second, then you have to say you have to actually say like, you know, due east or due west, which direction you're going. Again, for that also you have to specify. So here the answer is displacement. Okay, Marino, are you asking with respect to ISE board exams or with respect to your JEE Advanced or your IIT JEE exams? Okay, the next one is, which of the following are example of a three-dimension motion? Okay, you have a car moving along a zigzag path on a level road, and you have a kite flying on a windy day, and motion of an aeroplane in space in both B and C. Okay, you mean the boats? Boats you can actually concentrate more on motion in a plane than motion in a straight line. Motion in a straight line, again, it was given in your syllabus, but once again, to cross check before whether it is there or not, right? More than this, you can look more into motion in a plane, and whatever you're doing, always give importance to both numerical as well as your theory part. But here whatever you're learning, right, is just the basics, so try to do more numerical. That would be helpful for you. Okay, now in this case we have example of three-dimensional motion, right? A car moving along a zigzag path on a level road, a kite flying on a windy day, and a motion of an airplane in space, right? Or both B and C. Which of these are three-dimensional motion? Okay, when you're talking about three-dimensional motion, you have to take three coordinate axes into consideration. That is, x-axis, you need to take your y-axis and as well as your z-axis into consideration. Okay, a car moving in a zigzag path on a level road, you can just, let's say it is going on a zigzag path on a level road, you can use just two coordinate axes to specify its motion. You can take the x-axis, and at every point you can have the x-axis and y-axis to specify it. So this is an example of two-dimensional motion in a plane. Okay, but if you take the a kite flying on a windy day, or if you take the motion of an airplane in space, both of these, right, along with this xy coordinate, also had their height coordinate into consideration. Okay, so here if you take, let's take a plane that is if this is in the origin, as it takes off, if you see, where is the position of this plane? For specifying that, you need three coordinate axes, right? One is, let's say this is your x-axis, right? Then we have to actually know at what distance this is, right? So this will give you the disposition x. Okay, and this, if it is y, so this distance from this object that you have taken, this distance will give you your position y. Okay, and from this object, as you go here, this is your z-axis, means this distance over here, that is this value that you're seeing over here, this will actually give you your z-axis. Okay, so whenever you're taking motion in three-dimensional object, right, three coordinate axes are taken into consideration. So basically that is motion in a plane. Okay, so here both B and C are right. Okay, next question is, which of the following pairs are vector quantities? Again, we saw it was both displacement and velocity. Now let's see, speed is given by what? speed is given by what? Speed actually is given by, speed is a scalar quantity. Okay, to remember this speed S, so it's the scalar quantity. If you're getting confused, you just remember speed starts with an S and that represents a scalar quantity. And the next scalar quantity that actually between distance and displacement is, distance is a scalar quantity. Now distance per time, that is actually speed. How much distance an object covers with time gives you speed. The speedometer of your car actually talks you about the speed. It just gives you the magnitude and not your directions. Okay, so that basically gives you your speed. So here the option number C is correct. Okay, now knowing this, let's do a question. Okay, now the slope of the position time graph of an object in uniform motion. Okay, we have a position time graph but of an object in uniform motion. Okay, position time graph here, if you draw an object that is in uniform motion, means it's covering equal distance in equal intervals of time. Okay, so that will be a straight line path. Alright, now if you take the slope of this value, tan theta, if you take, right, this will give you what is the change in position by change in time or the time taken. Change in position or change in position or by time taken. So change in position, how much the object is changing, that basically gives you your distance or displacement, right? So here if you see, so it doesn't talk about distance because it is change in position by time. It cannot talk about acceleration because this graph is between position and time. So displacement is also out, but change in distance by time, this would mean velocity. Okay, so the slope of the position time graph of an object in uniform motion, it will give you velocity. Okay, next question, let's see. All right, let's say the car is actually moving along a x direction. Okay, now it moves from point 0 to p. Okay, let's give a value for everything. Okay, let's say it goes from point 0 to point p over here. Okay, let's give value for everything. Okay, let's say this is 0, 2, 4, 6, 8. Once again, all numericals that we are doing from here are taken from your reference books, the link for which is actually given down over here. The book names are actually given down in the slides itself. Alright, so 16, 18 and 20, let's say this is actually in seconds and this car is actually going in x direction. Let's see how much distance it's covering. Let's say the distance covering is 0, 40, 80, right? 120, 160. So then it sees this is actually 200, right? And 240, 280 and 320. Okay, and this is 360 and again 400. Let's say this is the, in terms of meters, this is the meters, how much meters it covers, and this is given, this gives you the time taken. Okay, now the car is moving along the x direction, right, positive x direction. It moves from this point O to P. This point O to P, it moves in actually 13 seconds. Okay, from here to here it goes in 13 seconds. Okay, so we know this duration is actually t is equal to, 18 seconds. This duration it takes for it to go from here to here, it takes 18 seconds. Okay, and what we are seeing, it is going to here, right? And let's pick another point over here. Let's pick another point, Q over here. It goes all the way till here and it travels back. It goes from here to here, right? It goes from here to here. Then from here it goes back again. It goes back to up to this point Q over here. Okay, for it to go from P to Q, again this particular direction, right? For it to go all the way from here to here. Okay, actually you can take the other way also. Instead of going all the way, you can say the car went till P and returned back to Q. Okay, this distance it took, t is equal to 6 seconds. Okay, not all the way around, this short distance. Let's say it just turned around here and it came till here at 6 seconds. Okay, then here what we want to find is, we want to find what is the average velocity. First point what we want to find is what is average velocity. Average velocity is given by, okay, displacement by time, okay, but we will do part after part. Let's say first between O to P, when the car was traveling from here to here, O to P, okay, when the car was traveling from O to P, average velocity will be what? Displacement by time taken, right? Here displacement, when you're saying, you have to give it with a direction, but in one dimensional motion, right, you can actually give positive and negative directions, okay? Displacement in this case, if you see, this will actually go in the positive direction, right? So here it is going from point A, finally it is reaching point P, right? This point P is at 360 degrees, right? 360 meters. So that's a positive 360 meters. Okay, because displacement you have to give direction component also. But what is the total time taken for it to go from P to Q? For it to go from P to from O to P, it takes 18 seconds. It's given in the question itself. For it to return from P to Q, it takes 6 seconds. But for it to go from this point O to P, it takes 18 seconds, right? So 160 divided by 18 seconds. Okay. So if you see what is the average velocity, the average, okay, average velocity, if you see meters per second, right? So if you divide this here, again velocity is again a vector quantity, this will be 20 meter per second. That's your average velocity, okay? But now if you're talking about average for the whole path, if you're talking about average, not velocity, but let's see the difference between speed and velocity, right? Now what will be the average speed between these 2 points? The average speed between these 2 points, speed is given by distance, or another term for it is actually path length, to be exact, path length by time taken. Okay. Now what is the path length? How much path it has covered over here is 360 meters, right? Now how much time it has taken? 18 seconds. Here speed being a vector quantity, you don't really have to specify the direction. So here it will just be 20 meters per second. So that's the difference between your velocity and your speed. Speed, scalar quantity, you don't have to worry about direction. But velocity is a vector quantity. So obviously you have to say in which direction it's going. So here we only go for motion in one direction, one dimension, right? Or for the motion in a straight line or a rectilinear motion it's called, or a linear motion, we can use the positive and the negative axis. Okay. So if it goes in this straight way, in this case, if what we are saying is it's going in the positive direction. Okay. Now that's your average speed. This is point 1 of the question. Okay. Now point 2 is, now the car is going from P to Q. From P it is back to Q. Okay. Now let's do from here. For, let's say, for the object to go from O to P, okay, and back to Q. It is going from O to P, and again from P it is coming back to Q over here. It's coming back to Q over here in this distance over here. Okay. For this, what would be the average velocity? Average velocity again will be displacement by time taken for the same case, but in this case we are actually looking at the average velocity, right? Now average velocity in this case will be what? It is going from this point here, right, to this point P over here, and after that it is returning back to Q again. So displacement, if you see, velocity is given by displacement. Displacement is initial position where it was, right? Initial position where it was to what is its final position, right? Initially it was in position 0 over here. Finally it is in position Q. Q is how many distance? 240 meters, right? So here when you're talking about displacement, right, its final position is this point Q over here. So OQ, from O to Q, what is the distance? That's what you need to check, right? Initial position is this, final position is this. So from O to Q, what is the, how many meters it is? 240 meters, right? So that's again positive. It crosses this 0 mark and goes only, it is negative, but as of now it is over here at this point, it's again positive. It is 240 meters divided by how much time has it taken, the total time taken, right? So for this object to go from here to P, right, O to P, it took 18 seconds according to the question. Again, for it to go from P to Q, according to the question, it takes 6 seconds. So total time travel will be 18 seconds plus 6 seconds. So 18 plus 6 seconds is actually around 24 seconds. Okay. So if you see average velocity in this case will be what? It is again positive 10 meters per second. That's your average velocity. Now let's see what is the total average speed in this case. Okay. Average speed in this case is very simple. The object goes from A to Q, right? O to Q, and the object goes from O to P. From P again it comes back to Q. So the total path taken will be from O to P. O to P is actually 360, right, meters plus, right, again it has traveled from P back to Q, right? P back to Q is 360 minus 240, right? 360 minus 240, if you see this distance over here is around 120 meters. 360 minus 240 is around 120 meters. Okay. So this over here is around 120 meters. So average speed, when you're talking about path length, it gives you the actual path traveled by the distance. Displacement just gives you the shortest path length. Okay. Right. So average path means it gives you the total path taken. So this divided by 24 seconds. Okay. Now again this will be somewhere around 480 by 24 seconds. 24, this will be around 20 meters per second. Okay. So this becomes your speed and this becomes your velocity. So I hope the difference between speed and velocity is clear now. Alright. Now let's do another question. On a 60-kilometer track, a train travels the first 30 kilometers with uniform speed of 30 kilometers per second. How fast must the train travel the next 30 kilometers so as to average 60 kilometers per hour for the entire trip? Okay. Now, once again, if in case you have any, if you know the answer, you can share it in the chat box. Okay. Now, in this case, this is a special case we saw for speed. Okay. Now, here what we are going to do is we are going to use this formula, right? Average speed, right? Average speed in this case is how long did the train travel for the first half, right? A train travels the first 30 kilometers. For 30 kilometers, what was the speed in which it traveled, right? So in this case, average speed will be how much it went, what was the distance it covered in the first 30 kilometers. That will be given by S1, right? So totally 60 kilometers. Total distance is 60 kilometers, right? Here the question actually says first half when we are saying, right, a train travels the first 30 kilometers. So S1 is 30 kilometers, right? Then what is the rest that is remaining? You get S2. S2 you will get by S1, S minus S1. Alright, total journey is 60. Half the journey we know it is 30 kilometers, right? The other half will definitely be another 30 kilometers. So this far we know from the question. Okay. Now for this particular journey, right? First half, this is basically gives you your distance S1. This is equal to 30 kilometers. For this first half of the journey, the train goes with a velocity of 30 kilometers per second or kilometers per hour. This is given in the question itself. Okay. Next half of the journey, right? That is another 30 kilometers. 30 plus 30 will give you 60 kilometers, right? In total. Okay. For the next half of the journey, right? How fast must the train go for the next half of the journey? We don't know what that is. V2 is what we want to find. Okay. How fast did it go? So that when you look at the average, when you basically look at the average of both these two, average over here, right? For the entire journey, if you're looking at what is the speed traveled, that average speed, because average velocity is total displacement by time. So the total displacement by time, so that average has to come around 40 kilometers per hour. Okay, for the entire trip, the average velocity has to be 40 kilometers per hour. If this has to be the case, we know, then we have to find what is V2 over here, knowing this. Okay, very simple. Your average velocity, right, your average velocity is given by what is the distance it traveled in the first half plus the second half divided by the time it has taken in the first half and the second half. Now, in the question, time is actually not given. Okay, so what we are going to do, we are going to make use of the same formula again. Okay, we know velocity is given by distance by time, right? From here, time is given by distance by velocity. Let's substitute the same. Time is given by distance by velocity. So this is for the first part of the train journey, right? Plus this will be S2, second part of the journey, this will be S2 by V2. Because we know the velocity, we want to find V2, but we know V1, S1 and S2. Okay, here we know S1, right? S1 and S2, S1 and S2 both are 30 kilometers, right? So we can say S1 equal to S2 equal to S, because all of it is just 30 kilometers. Okay, so let's say this is total ST. Let's take this as total distance traveled. Okay, so this is basically S. So let's substitute this. This becomes 2S divided by, let's take S outside. So this becomes 1 by V1 plus 1 by V2. S actually over here cancels, right? Now I'm going to do the same right over here. Okay, S actually cancels. Then what we will have for the average velocity over here, right? We know this S value over here cancels. Then we'll have 2 by 1 by V1 plus 1 by V2. Let's do some simplification, right? Now, let's take this 2 by, let's cross multiply. This will be V2 plus V1 divided by V1, V2, right? This V1, V2 goes on top. So, this will be 2 into V1, V2 divided by V1 plus V2. Okay? We know all these values. Average value is given as what? Average, V average is 40 kilometers per hour, right? So, V average is actually 40 kilometers per hour. Okay? Now, in this question, everything is given in kilometers per hour. So, make sure the final unit you're giving in terms of kilometers per hour. But if conversion is asked to meter per second, be careful not to convert them. Okay. Here we are giving the final answer in kilometers per hour. So, this will be 40 into 2 into what is V1? For the first half of the journey, the train travels at the speed of 40 kilometers per second, right? Sorry, the average is 40 kilometers. For the train travels, for the first half, it travels with a uniform speed of 30 kilometers. That is actually V1, right? This is actually V average and this is actually V1, right? V2 is what we want to find. So here V1 is what? 30 into V2, we don't know what it is, plus over here down below it will be 30 plus V2. If you guys know the answer, you can give it in the chat box. Okay, so here let's quickly do this. So if you cross multiply in this case, you will get something around okay, so let's see. Okay, so this will be 40 into 30 plus V2, which will be equal to 2 into 3 is 60 V2, right? If you cross multiply, again it's a very huge number, right? If you are actually cross multiplying, in this case 4 3s are 12, 1200 plus 40 V2 will be equal to 60 V2, right? Let's take this the same quantities on the same side, right? This is 1200, which is equal to 60 V2 minus 40 V2. So this is 1200 and this is somewhere around right, this is around 20 V2. Okay, now what will be velocity to, right? The uniform velocity in the next half of the journey would be around 1200 divided by 20. 0 cancels, 2 ones are, in this case 6 are. So V2 is actually 60 kilometers per hour. So for the first half of the train journey, the train goes at covers a distance of 30 kilometers and it has a uniform velocity of 30 kilometers per second. For the second half of the journey, it goes up to, it travels a distance of 30 kilometers, but it has a uniform velocity speed of 20 kilometers per 60 kilometers. It is going at 60 kilometers per hour, right? So average between these two, when you take the total average over here, how much distance it's covered with time, that comes out to be around 40 kilometers per hour. Okay, all right. So with this note, let's go to one more question. Before we go ahead to the next question, you guys can again give your answers in the chat box. What is acceleration is given by what? Acceleration is given by what? Is it given by change in velocity by time taken, displacement into time, or distance by time taken, or displacement into time taken? Acceleration is given by? Hello, Ravi. Okay, you guys can give the answer now. Acceleration is given by basically change in velocity by time. Okay, that gives you acceleration. Now, we're going to do one more question where the question is going to be asked about position, velocity and acceleration, all three quantities. Okay, so let's see. Now, the displacement x of a particle, okay, varies with time t as x is equal to 4t square minus 15t plus 25. Okay, that is the displacement of this particular particle. Okay, we're going to find what is the position, velocity and acceleration of this particle at time t equal to 0. Okay, and we also want to know when will the velocity of the particle become 0. Okay, and we can tell and can we call the motion of this particular particle as one with the uniform acceleration. This is what we're going to learn right now. Okay, so very simple one. Okay, let's say position is what is given over here. In this question, position is what is given. The displacement x, that basically talks about your position, right? That x is given in the question itself as 4t square, right, minus 15t plus 25. That is the position. Okay, now what we want to do, we want to find what is the velocity, right? So how would we find the velocity in this case? We know position. From there, if we want to find velocity is actually given by dx by dt. If you take the first derivative of position, you will get velocity. Okay, so dx by dt means in this case it will be d by dt of, Ravi, you're a class 9 student. That's okay, Ravi. You can stay if you like to. All right, and this will be 4t square minus 15t plus 25. Okay. Now, if you take velocity over here, let's see. We have to do this derivation. We have to take d by dt for each of the term, right? So d by dt of the first term over here will be 4t square, right? Then we have, right, so 4t square over here, if you take, let's do one step at a time, right? That will be 4 into 2 into t, okay, minus, right, minus the next term becomes d by dt of 15t. You can actually take the constant outside. If you take the constant outside, that is just 15. Right, this is just 15. You will have d by dt of t. This actually cancels each other, right? So that's the second term. Now, d by dt of a constant is always 0. If you're taking d by dt of any constant, derivative of a constant value like 25 is always a 0. So that last term is 0. So the first term, if you're taking the derivative, you're getting the velocity to be somewhere around okay, you're getting the velocity somewhere around 8t, right? 4 2s are 8, right? 4 2s are 8, 8t minus 50. That is the velocity of the particle. Okay. Now next let's see what is actually the acceleration. Now, first derivative of position gives you velocity. Okay. First derivative of velocity gives you acceleration. Now, this will be d by dt of 8t minus 15. Okay, so you are taking your acceleration in this case, d by dt of 8t. If you see, right, 8 is common, so you can remove that outside. Then all you will have is t, right? So d by dt of t will actually cancel. These two quantities will cancel each other. So this is all you will get is 8. Okay. Next, if you take d by dt of 15, d by dt of a constant value is actually 0. Okay. Abhinav, what is velocity in this case? Velocity in this case, you're asking what is velocity in general. Velocity is how much distance an object covers with time. That gives you velocity. Okay. Or how much displacement an object covers with time. That gives you velocity. Okay. Now, for example, if you have, if let's say you're starting from here, right? Let's say this is your house. From your home, you're going to your school. Okay. What is the total distance displacement you covered from here to here? What was the displacement, right? That displacement by what was the time taken, right? Time. That gives you actually your velocity. Okay. And Ravi, my Hindi is not really good. I'm not a native Hindi speaker. This class will go on for another 15 minutes at least. Okay. And here if you see, acceleration in this case becomes 8. Okay. Now, according to the question given, we want to find when time t equal to 0. When time t equals 0, what will be position, right? What will be its position? What will be that particular particle's position, velocity and acceleration? This is what we want to find out. Okay. Now, acceleration in this case, right? So, in each of the equation we have over here, let me write that, let me write all of those equations separately. Okay. Whatever equations we have got till now, let me write that separately. Right. We got position x actually as position of the particle as 4t square minus 15t plus 25. That is the position of the particle. Okay. At t is equal to 0, what does the position of the particle mean? Substitute t is equal to 0 in this equation. Right. Now here we have 4 into 0 square. Right. This whole term becomes 0. 15 into 0. This also becomes 0. We have 25. Right. So position of the object will be 25 meters. Okay. This becomes the position of the object. Right. Next we start with velocity. Velocity, we got the equation as derivative. Taking the derivative of this, we got 8t minus 15. Right. Now at t is equal to 0 means we have to substitute 2 is equal to 0 in this equation. V will be 8 into 0. This term becomes 0, but we have 15. So V will be minus 15 meter per second. This is your velocity. Acceleration, when we took the derivative, all we had was 8 meter per second square. Right. So that's your acceleration that we directly got. Okay. Now this is your time. At time t is equal to 0. The position, the particle was at a position of 25 meters from its origin, and it had a velocity of minus 15 meters per second, and its acceleration was 8 meters per second square. Okay. Now this is the first question asked. Now the second part of the question asked was, will the velocity of the particle become 0? This is the second part of the question. Will the velocity of the particle become 0? Okay. Now if the velocity of the particle has to become 0 means, see, let's take this velocity equation. We got the velocity equation V as 8t minus 15. Okay. Will this become 0? If velocity has to become 0 means substitute V is equal to 0 in this equation. Okay. Now if you solve for this, okay, we can get that in this case you can say 8t is equal to 15. Right. T will be equal to 15 by 8. Solve for it, you will get somewhere around 1.875 seconds. At t is equal to 1.875 seconds, velocity can be 0. Why? What you see is basically a negative velocity, right? So here velocity can actually be 0 at this particular time t. Okay. Next part of the question that is asked is actually, can we tell the motion of this particular motion of the particle as one with uniform acceleration? Okay. If you look at this acceleration equation over here, this acceleration equation doesn't depend on time. See, when you took the derivative over here, acceleration was 8. There is no time component. For velocity we have time, position we have time. For acceleration there is no time, right? Which means acceleration not having any time means we can say that the particle has a uniform acceleration. Okay. That means change in velocity for a particular time period, whatever is the change in velocity is actually constant. Okay. For example, what is uniform acceleration? As simply if you want to see, let's say within this particular time interval, think of a car that is going from this point P to point Q. Okay. Now, within equal time rates. Let's say all of this time is actually 55 minutes. For example, I'm taking 5 minutes. Okay. Now, within this 5 minutes, let's say the first part, the velocity of the object is actually 2 meters per second, okay, or 2 kilometers per minute, okay. Then let's say another one is 4, another one is 6. Now the change in velocity, right, the change in velocity between equal intervals of time is constant. The change in the velocity is constant, okay. Then we say that object has equal, then we say the object has uniform acceleration. All right. Now, the next question is, the position time graph is a straight line parallel to the time axis. Okay, this is actually the question asked. The position time graph is actually parallel to the time axis. Okay, so here if the position time graph has to be parallel to the time axis, means what kind of motion does it represent? See, we are having position, we are having time, and it's a straight line. Okay, you can try giving the answer in the chat box. So that's the object is in uniform motion, or is it object in non-uniform motion, or does it specify a stationary object or object in uniform accelerated motion, right? This is the question asked. For example, let's say you go from your home, from your house being your origin, let's say you went to somewhere over here, okay, and you meet your friend over here and you're chatting with your friend, okay. So let's say this particular distance from you to your house over here is 5 meters of whatever it is. Let's say that is x naught. Okay. At time 0, you're at x naught, this position. Okay. Let's say 5 minutes has passed by. You're still chatting with your friend. Okay. Let's say 10 minutes passed by. You're still chatting with your friend in the same place. After 15 minutes also, you're still chatting with your friend in the same place. Okay. So what do we see? Your distance, as time goes by, the distance is actually constant, and it's parallel to the time axis. What does it mean? It means in this case a stationary object. ICSE class 10 results are out at 5 p.m. actually. You can actually check the results, and at 6:30 today we have a class on the Unacademy platform to tell you how to access the result and how to apply for re-evaluation if you want to apply, and within which day we have to apply for re-evaluation. All of those, this class 12 announcement, all information regarding that, at 6:30 we have a class on Unacademy platform. We will be discussing the same there. Okay, it will be just a 15-20 minutes class. You can join in. The class link is actually, you can go to the Telegram link and pick it up. Otherwise, by the end of the class, I will give you the class link. Okay. And I hope all of you guys, if you have seen your result, you have got really good grades. Okay. And with this, here, if you see, when your position time graph, if it's a straight line, then it means it's an object the object is actually stationary. Okay. Next question. All right. Next question over here is a jet plane. It is going to start from rest with an acceleration of 3 meters per second. Okay. Now, and then it is going to travel a distance of 35 seconds before taking off. Right. So, initially the jet plane starts. Now, from here, from this distance to this distance, right, if you look at its acceleration, it is accelerating at 3 meters per second. Okay, this is initial, this is t is equal to 0. Okay, and it makes a run for about 35 seconds. So at 35 seconds, it is in this spot over here. This is time 0, this is at time 35. It's at this point over here. Okay, so at this point over here, it takes off. At t is equal to 35 seconds, it takes off. Okay, now what we want to find? Now, this distance actually will give you what is the minimum length of the runway, right? At least what the minimum length of the runway, you will know if the plane is going from here to here and it's taking off, right? So what is this minimum length of the runway? That is the question asked, right? From here to here, what is the minimum length? So minimum length, let's give it as S, right? This is what we need to find. So for this, we will use equation of motion. So we will use second equation of motion over here, okay? Because here, what are the quantities we know in this equation? We know initially when at time at 0, the plane is just starting from its position. So initial velocity is 0. We don't know what its final velocity is, but we know from 0 to 35 seconds, we know what its acceleration is, right? A we know. And we also know time t. Time t when it is about to take off, it is 35 seconds. These are three quantities we actually know. So knowing that, how we have to find the minimum length. Minimum length of the runway, in this case it is actually telling us about the displacement, right? So let's start that. This displacement is given by this second equation of motion, right? It tells us about the displacement, which is given by ut plus half at square. Okay, now let's substitute for u over here. U is actually 0, right? Right, if u is actually 0 means this whole quantity actually becomes 0, plus all you will have is half into what is a in this case. A over here is actually around, so let me also substitute for time in this case, right? Let me substitute all the equation. So in this case, first you have u is actually initial velocity is 0 into time taken is what? At 35 seconds it's taking off, right? That till 35 seconds we want to know what is the runway, right? So this is 35 plus 1 by 2 into, right, what is acceleration? 3 meters per second into t square is what? 35 again, right? T square is 35 again. So the first equation over here becomes 0 plus here you have 1 by 2 into 3 into 35 square. Very easy. Don't worry, you can use a shortcut trick over here, right? So shortcut Vedic math trick over here, you can use this 5 times 5. For the last part of the answer, you can get the answer in 2 parts. Last part of the answer, you will get it by using 5 times 5. For the first part of the answer, see, first number, 10's place value is 3. Add 1 to it, you get 4. Multiply 3 times 4, that is 12. Then 5 5s are 25, right? So here the answer to this question, 35 square is, this is only, you can apply this technique only when you're squaring a number ending with 5, okay? Then this particular value will be 1225. Okay, now if you actually solve for this particular value, you will actually get, I'm not going to actually do that. I'm not going to ask you guys to do the math, but if you have the answer, you can share it in the chat box. S value, that is the minimum distance over here, is going to be somewhere around 1873.5 meters. Okay, so S in terms of kilometers is somewhere around 1.8 kilometers. So that is the distance, minimum length of the runway before the plane takes off. Okay, now second question before we end today's class. Alright, this question is for all of you, right? If you have the answer, you can give. Now the same question, right? We know at 35 seconds it basically takes off. This is the distance S we know, right? We know acceleration, we know time, right? For the same question, we want to find what is the velocity of the jet while it is taking off. We know initial velocity is 0, right? Velocity of the jet when it is taking off, this velocity will be v, that is final velocity, right? We want to know when the jet takes off, right before it takes off, what will be its velocity. Okay, for this we have to make use of equation in motion, but basically we are going to make use of the first equation of motion, right? That says v, right, initial final velocity is equal to initial velocity plus acceleration into time. Initial velocity is 0. So if you guys have the, if you got the answer, you can share the option in the chat box. Initial velocity is 0. Okay, acceleration is 3 meters per second into what is the time taken? Time taken is at this 35 seconds it takes off, right? At t is equal to 35 seconds, the plane takes off. So when the plane takes off, we want to find out what is its when the plane takes off, we want to find what is its velocity, right? So here acceleration from here to here is 3 meters per second. At the takeoff, time is t is equal to 35 seconds. We want to know when it takes off, what is its velocity, right? So for that we have to do time t is equal to, okay, time t is equal to 35 seconds, right? So here v will be equal to 3 into 35. 3 into 35 if you multiply, you get somewhere around 105 meters per second, okay? That's actually the velocity of the jet at takeoff. The v value is what we are seeing over here. The velocity when the jet is taking off is 105 meters per second. Alright guys, with this we are coming towards the end of today's class. If you have any doubts, please start asking in the chat box. Right, so once again, before we end the class, I'll give you all the major announcements. Before we go ahead with that, let me tell you the plus courses that are happening in the platform. So we have an ongoing plus course for class 11. The name is Brahmashra. This course started only on 6th, right? And the course will be taught in English. For physics, we will be meeting every 5:15 to 6:15 p.m. between Tuesday, Thursday and Saturday. Okay, and math will be taken by Rahul sir, chemistry will be taken by Manisha ma'am, and biology will be taken by Lakshay sir. Okay, and the course, if you're taking a class 11 subscription, your class 12 subscription is absolutely free. So if you're paying only for 1 year, you're getting the course for 2 years. Okay, so in the course, whenever you're taking a plus subscription, you're getting 4 subjects, that is physics, math, chemistry and biology. Okay, these are 4 subjects, and minimum for each subject you will at least have 10 classes for each of the subject, minimum 10 classes at least in a month. Okay, so there will be total 40 classes in a month, and actually that is just the minimum. There will be more than that. Okay, then you have test papers and also practice test series, and also you will have some live test series as well. To get this course, you can use plus subscription. You can use my code MTIS10 to get this particular offer along with whatever ongoing offer is there. Okay, for class 12 also we have a batch that started on July 6th. The course is again taught in English. So again, for physics, we will be meeting every Monday, Wednesday, Friday between 5:15 to 6:15 p.m. All other subjects and the timing is also given. Okay, in case if you missed any previous classes, class recordings will be given, and during the doubt classes you can again ask your doubts. Again, for this also you can use my code MTIS10 for avail any discounts. Okay, now whenever you're taking a plus subscription with Unacademy, the longer duration you take, the price per course goes down. Okay, so if you take for 2 years, the course is only for 33,063 rupees. This is actually for 2 years you're paying. Okay, and for 1 month, if you 1 year if you're taking, it's 19,838 rupees. But you guys have an advantage. You pay for 1 year, you're getting the second year course absolutely free. Okay, so you can always take your plus subscription with Unacademy for the class 11, then class 12 subscription is free. Okay, now because your results are out today for class 10, right, at 6 p.m. onwards we have this offer available for you guys. Exactly in half an hour from 6 p.m. onwards, right, we have the unlock 20% off. Okay, so whatever plus subscription you're taking for from class 6 to class 12, whatever plus subscription you're taking between July 17, that is from 6 p.m. today to 22nd, you will get a 20% off. Okay, to avail this offer you can use my code MTIS10. Okay, you can get a 20% off. So whatever price you're paying for 1 year for the subscription course, you can actually pay use my code MTIS10. You will be getting a 20% off on this price, and you're paying only that. And if you take class 11, class 12 subscription is free. Okay, now for the important announcement we have here, we know your class results are actually out. So at 6:30 p.m. if you're in class 10, and if your class 10 ICSE class 10 results are out, at 6:30 p.m. today 6:30 p.m. exactly in 1 hour, we have a session actually on the Unacademy platform. Now in that class we will basically discuss about your class 10 results, right? How to go get the results, right? How to get the results, and if you want to apply for re-evaluation, within which dates you want to apply, all details you can actually join the class to know all of these updates. Okay, now the link for the class I've shared here, but also the link for the same is also in my Telegram group. Okay, now the second update is, if in case you are in class, if you have gotten your class 10 results today, or even if you're expecting your class 12 results, which will come which will be announced soon as well, right? So in both cases you can fill this form over here. Now you can, if you fill this form, you stand a chance to feature in the online facilitation of toppers. Okay, that is in Unacademy. Do fill out this form if you want to participate. Okay, now we have a community feature, so you will never miss any updates from any of your educators, and also you can directly share your feedbacks with the educators via pool feature. So in the link description link over there, the link to my community channel is also given, so you can go there. There'll be updates given over there. At the same time, the 6:30 p.m. class today, that the classes link is also will be there. Along with that, you can go to my Telegram channel also, link is there as well. Okay, other than all of this, there are some MCQ type questions I would have asked. Try attempting the same. Okay, now in case if you watch any inappropriate content in any of the videos, and if you're reporting the same, you can claim a prize. And if you like this video, please share it among your friends and subscribe to the channel and click on the bell icon to get any notification. Okay, alright guys, on this note, I'm coming towards the end of the class, right? And I'll see you all in the next class.